G'day, punters. Welcome to another massive edition of All In. We are here. It's a Wednesday night this time around, so might change the name of All In to some preview of some description. Welcome in the team, Lewis Willoughby from, where are you from, Louis? STC and Sky Racing.
Gee, you're flying, mate. You are. This is the best intro to the show I've ever seen in my life.
Call it a podcast.
Yeah. I'm back on. I'm on the show now. Good, Gannon, good.com. Yeah, flying. It's going to be a good weekend. Let's find some winners.
Fantastic. Yeah, I sort of went a bit blank in my mind because I was going to make a private joke there, but I thought we don't want all 333 people hearing about your misfortunes on the weekend. Dean Watling from deanwatling.com and every other, anyone else that just pays money for anything in the racing industry, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, boys. Good weekend it was. A little bit tricky, the track pad a little bit tricky. I think this weekend, I spoke to the boys off air, it is one of the hardest weekends Flemington and Rosehill on paper I've seen. So I think we've got to tread a little bit carefully, but hopefully you two can carry the boats.
And full credit to you, girl, Ray. She put in a good ride on just fine. I'll just take over there. You don't need Lou to do ride of the week. I'll just take over for you, Lou. Full credit there, and full credit to you, Dino, for obviously taking note that horse should be ridden forward on speed and get the job done. I'm not sure how you did that, but that's fantastic. Good job, mate. Full credit to you.
I love it. A compliment backed up with a little clip.
Yeah, backhander.
Well, we've got to stay on top of each other. We've got to stay on top of each other in here. Otherwise, our egos will get too big. Righto, let's talk Tab Everest. We'll have a look at the King Charles, and then we'll move forward on the weekend of racing ahead. Obviously, a bit of moving and shaking happening in the Everest. Just go through the market here. I wish I win $4. Imperatrice is highly doubtful now. Think about it. $4.50. Private Eye $6. Bornis Nashos has been very well backed into $8 now. Cylinder 11. Hawaii 50 13. Espiona been secured a spot for Chris Waller, 15. In Secret, 15. Overpass, Speed Horse, 15. Shinzo, $17. Marzu, $26. And I note the alcohol-free still hasn't been locked in there. But then I'll throw to you. First up, who's your top pick at the moment? And then give me a front runner and a back marker as well. So it could be 1, 2, or 3 here.
Yeah. Good race coming up. Obviously, it's probably not a vintage edition. It's a little bit of a sort of in-between years, see who's going to put their hands up. Louis, you're big on this. It's probably not the greatest Everest edition it's going to shape up to be, but what it will be, it's a good race because there's so many different angles you can find. My leading horse at the moment would be toss of a coin between I Wish I Win and Private Eye. I think they're the two outside, out of mind. They're probably the two leading chances. If you tie in Giga Kick, Private Eye just got beat last year in the Everest by that horse who carried 53 kilos. So I think they're the top two. I think outside of that, we obviously got one slot to fill, which is Yulong slot. I dare say they'll pick up their own horse in alcohol-free. We've seen Espiona get picked up, as well as Shinzo. Marzu keeps his slot, albeit had a little setback on the weekend. Outside of that, I was very impressed with the trial of Overpass yesterday. Marzu was in that trial. He was, again, a little bit underwhelming. Shinzo was, okay.
Just on that, sorry to interrupt you, Dino. And Louis, I'll get your opinion. Did you see the trial, Louis? I thought it was average at best.
For which one?
Marzu.
Which one? Yeah. Look, I think Marzu. I'm not looking at Marzu for this year's Everest. I wouldn't pay much attention to the trial. Unless it had come out and won that trial by 1,000 lengths, we're probably not talking about it anyway. So I'm happy to let Marzu go by the wayside this year.
Sorry, Dino, keep going, mate. I'm interested in your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, no, that was a little mini Everest trial. So I love what Overpass did. Lack of speed. There's been no slots picked up other than probably Hawaii 50. So I think the front runners, I Wish I Win and Private Eye. The one I want to probably be against is Marzu and the Smoky for me. Gatto's probably Overpass at big odds.
Yeah, I love it. Front running horse there. Louis, do you see any speed in the race outside of Overpass here?
Well, no, not really, unless someone like an Osmosis would get in. But no, that's true. There's not like a designated leader. That doesn't mean though that there wouldn't be speed on the day. It's still a high pressure $20 million 1,200 meter sprint. So while there won't be something like an Eduardo or a Nature Strip, perhaps going hell for leather out front, the average length to average speed to the 600 might go from 9 lengths inside average to 4 lengths inside average. They're still going pretty quick. So I think every horse should get their chance still to capture what Dino said. With the loss of some big guns from previous years, the 1-2s I just mentioned, Lost and Running, etc. What I think it does make for is A, an unbelievable betting race, and B, the chance for a future champion, a future star of this 1,200-meter ranks for Everest to come to stand up and cement themselves. So I'm really, really excited for this race. And the more I look at it, the more I struggle to see how they beat I Wish I Win. It's a perfect lead-in off that 1,400-meter Memsey, fresh in, back to the 1,200. Peter Moody's done this before with some very smart sprinters. One comes to mind off the top of my head, starts with B, and the second word starts with C.
So you're not drawing a line through that. Yeah, Black Caviar, are we?
But what I'm saying is not that I Wish I Win is Black Caviar, but that Peter Moody knows how to win 1,000 and 1,200-meter sprint races.
Just so I clarify that before the comments came in, started giving you a spray. I think give you opportunity.
Save me there. The concern, obviously, perhaps is a racing pattern, but I think they'll be able to position themselves more forward. And the more no one's really talking about I Wish I Win. There's a lot of because it was ran so many weeks ago and got selected so many weeks ago. All the focus now is on the other horses, but the market hasn't missed it. $4.50 into $4. The Smoky for me, I'm going to make. I'm gonna go with Dino Overpass. I think the trial was really good. Up on speed, proven, bomb-proof horse, tough as nails. And I think I agree with Dino there that's the Smoky.
Yep, spot on. I think Overpass is definitely, I wouldn't even say a Smoky. Overpass is the best go-forward horse in the race, tough as nails, will be there for a very, very long time. I think Overpass it represents value at $15 because once the speed maps come out, I don't think it matters what barrier it draws. They're going to have to gravitate towards it somewhat, right? It's not going to start favourite, but they've got to gravitate towards it somewhat, and it could be one of those Everest where the leader just steals. I think we saw Renzel and Kieran go pretty reasonably slow sectionals. We might see a repeat of that. A horse that I'm really interested in, I think Hawaii 5-0's has come back enormous, and full credit to Gay and Adrian because they've just done a fabulous job with his horse. He's improved significantly off that first up run, second up. I don't know how I didn't get the job done, still half crook. Of course, out of those two, given the way the track played on Saturday, would you take just off that run? You'd take Hawaii 5-0. Granted, think about it, has natural improvement. One's $4.50 though, one's $13. So if I had to take Hawaii 5-0 or think about it, I'd be taking Hawaii 5-0. There's my thinking there. But I think Overpass is the Smoky. I think Hawaii 5-0 is, the new kid on the block. And Fortis Notchus has been a horse I've been keen on for a little while. So they're the three that I'm keen on. But I actually think this is the best edition of the Everest I've ever seen. There you go. I'll throw it out. Competitive. I think it's competitive. It's been the most talked about.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd love to have had Giga Kick and Imperatrice there, but I think the best thing about this year is you cannot knock anyone for an opinion. I think you could have a reason to back all these horses. I wouldn't be surprised race day. It'll be probably $5-6 to field. I think the biggest thing about what we're talking about as well is going to be that the barriers are going to be so crucial. It's not much between them all in our minds. So who's going to get the best run? Is there going to be a lot of speed? I think barriers are going to be so crucial, but I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be one of the better ones. And like Louis said, we could see I Wish I Win stand up and be the best sprinter. We saw Hugh Kick do it last year. No one thought he could be, and he come out to be the best sprinter.
And I think, as you said, the barrier draws, probably two horses that probably won't matter for will be Hawaii 5-0 and Overpass. They're the two I think that will probably be beneficiaries of. Doesn't matter where they go, or maybe a couple of futures bets, but the prices have probably nearly gone down. And we sent out Hawaii 5-0 as a bet for the champion sprint around $51 and 26 is not a bad place still. It's still got a bit of racing left in at this preparation. Right, King Charles worth a cool $100 billion. Mr. Brightside $2.30 favourite. Fangirl $6. Light Infantry $6. Apparently the horse is flying. Amelia's Jewel 8. Buckaroo, never heard of it, 11. Kovalika 11. Think it over 11. Zaki 11. Right, give us your play or your early thoughts for the King Charles, Dino. If it's as simple as Mr. Brightside, just say it and we'll move on.
The thing I do want to say, and it's not Mr. Brightside, a couple of things to note. Think It Over trialled on Tuesday, was pulled up by Nash, and he suggested that its action was awful and there was something wrong. So just wait and see what happens there with that horse. It's obviously coming back from a tendon. Its preparation won a Group 1 last start, so hopefully all is okay, but just be careful back in it. I would love to see Amelia's Jewel go here. I think she can actually get close and maybe give Mr. Brightside a shout at around $9 all in. I'd love to see him go this way. I just think the prize money and the setup in these two races from here to the Golden Eagle with no kick and kick just screams that's suitable for her. Like, I think she could be a great horse, a Cox Play horse next year, but 2,000 metre high pressure race, this year's Cox Play is actually shaping up to be pretty strong. So if you take out Brightside of Light Infantry and Fangirl, she's the fourth in line. I don't think she's fourth in line in a Cox Plate. So I think at the price, Gano, I'd be happy enough to have something on her small here at $9.
Watch out, and we'll give you $8 there, mate. And Louis, what do you got for the King Charles?
Yeah, struggling with this only because I don't know the overseas horses. I know that Hugh Berman's booked to ride Buckaroo, Light Infantry, apparently he's flying. Have they got any others down the board? No.
Berkshire Shadow?
Yeah,
I think Zach Purton, I might have heard, I could be incorrect, but I think I heard Zach Purton will be riding Light Infantry.
Yeah, I just don't know these horses. Mr. Brightside's the weight for age star, 230 is too short. Kerry Parker came out and said, all okay, we think it over, they press on.
Yeah.
So that's the one. If you forced me to have a bet in this market right now at 7:06 p.m. on a Wednesday, I'd probably have something each way, $11.350 on think it over, because let's say Amelia's Jewel doesn't go this way, comes out. Kovalika won't be going here. It needs more than 1,600 meters, I would assume.
Yeah, I think Cox Plate's the goal for you.
100%. Yeah. King Colorado goes to the Guineas and won't be coming here. So there's a few in the market around that price that are likely to come out. And so then I think you could maybe get shorter than $11 on the day for Think It Over, who is definitely going there, if all okay, which Kerry says it is.
Love it. All right, I have no real opinion on the race, lads. Let's go to the Turnbull Stakes, Flemington, this Saturday. There's a fair bit of rain down in Melbourne at the moment, but Flemington being the best raining track probably in the world, if not the world, definitely in Australia, probably likely to be, maybe soft 5, soft 6 to start the day, and then improve to a soft 5, I'd say. Worst case scenario, but this is a really good race, Jens. You've got Romantic Warrior, $2.10 favourite with Pav. Remember what you are gambling with, and you're always here promoting responsible gambling, gents. So keep up the good work there. Gold Trip, $23. Where the better for it? Smoking Romans. Louis, you might tip this one at $251 this week. Francesco Guardi on a way to a Melbourne Cup, $18. West Wind Blows. Hopefully Dana might be able to tell us more about that horse, because I've got none. $7.50. Ozapenko, $6. Uncle Bryn, $23. What else we got there? Salcombe. Not bad. $7.50. Not a bad price. Lewis Willoughby, kick us off with the Turnbull.
Glad you ended on that one, because that's the one I like, Salcombe, at $7.50 and $2.30, as you mentioned. I thought the win first up from off the speed was huge. Always the sign of a stayer who's going to have a great preparation when they win, or at least run very well fresh, and that's exactly what happened. Had no right, I thought, to finish as close as it did to Alligator Blood in the Underwood. It got pushed wide on the turn. It flew home, and it managed to beat that Anthony and Sam Friedman horse in the Yellow Silks.
Without a fight.
Yeah, who goes really good. So I think the form out of that Underwood is perhaps not... Okay, I don't think it's the Mr. Brightside form line, but I don't think maybe it's as poo-poo as people may try and make it out to be. I think it might be okay. My third up, at 2,000 metres, yes. Obviously, the concern is get back from barrier 2. I'm hoping now fitness and outing trip, they can maybe just hold more of a position. And if it gets any splits, I think it's going very, very well. Previous third up winner has won on the soft, doesn't want it too soft. But if we're on that kind of range, I think Salcombe is a really good bet. And then Osipenko was the other one I just wanted to mention at $6. Ratings-wise is easily up there, up top 3 in this race of what it's doing so far this prep. So could do a 2-bet play, Osipenko and Salcombe, mainly the latter.
Love that. Dino, what do you got for us?
Yeah, very similar vein to Louis. I thought Salcombe, Osipenko, and the international horse, West Wind Blows are the three I wanted to sort of arrow in at. Romantic Warrior, obviously respect the horse a lot, but $2.10 first up. Just the stuff that's been in the media about it not eating up before it's leaving, a few other things. Just leave me out at $2.10. If it wins, it's great, but I can't be chiming in a 2,000 metre race at that price. West Wind Blows has form around Paddington, albeit beat 6.5 lengths, has form around Pile Driver as well, and has really good 2,000 metre form as well as soft form. So I think there's a smart early market move, and that could be because of that. You always have to respect, obviously, internationals. That's my limited knowledge about that horse. Osipenko was terrific last start. The last 200 metres there in the Maccabi Diva behind Mr. Brightside, Alligator Blood was outstanding. I think it's screening for 2,000 metres now, unbeaten at the Trip Gate 6. And it's just a lovely setup for that horse. And Louis, I think you hit the nail on the head with Solcombe. He was terrific in that race last start. I thought the way that Alligator Blood and Tuvalu turned the speed on from probably the 600-700 metres and where he landed meant that he had to sort of pick up and sustain 800-metre run. And I thought he was as good as without a fight. And he's peaking now third up inside gate. I like. I think he can settle 2-3 pairs closer. We'll need luck, but I'd be happy to play all three of those to beat Romantic Warrior, Gunnar.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, I think Romantic Warrior is on ratings for what I think I can tell you is clearly the best horse here, but has been some concerns. This is not the grand final. Won't be completely screwed out. Draw barrier 11 for a horse that probably likes to sit on speed. I wonder what they do there. I would be surprised if they go handlebars down. So probably might just be, might end up being 5 or 6 pairs back rather than 2 or 3, just because J Mac just says, well, the instructions are you don't want to push too forward. We don't want to use it up too much here. So very interested to see how the race sort of pans out for it. Do you want to take $2 in a field of 18 odd or 16 odd? I think we'll go around of a horse that's drawn barrier 11. I think that's madness, absolute madness. Plenty of people will, but plenty of people will do that definitely as well. So look, I was really keen with Osipenko wherever it went, assuming it was going to go to 2,000 metres fourth up. But I think it's really, really easy bet to have. Damien Oliver is going to roll forward, going to be there or thereabouts over 2,000 metres, and a little bit of a sting out of the tracks, no real concern at all. I think it's perfectly placed and looks one of the better bets of the weekend, gents. So I'm with Osipenko. Louis, who are you with again?
Osipenko and Solcombe.
Yep, and Dino?
Yeah, Osipenko from Solcombe, and I'd have to throw in West Wind Blows into the numbers as well. But the main bet's the 7 and the 11.
Super. You got a best bet for Flemington, Lou?
Yeah, I'm going to have a bet on D Sonic Boom in the Tab Edward Manifold. It's race number 4. It's over the mile. I don't know how. It's $6.50 and Legacies is $4. Legacies was really good first up, but then plain second up, pulled up with a slow recovery. I often think slow recovery can just be the excuse for when a horse is really bad. You know what I mean?
When a favourite's getting beat.
Yeah, okay, if it's pulled up with EIPH or
to be slow to recover when you didn't do anything in the run.
Yeah,
it makes us feel better as punters. I think they do that.
I just have question marks whenever it says slow recovery, throat issue, EIPH, etc. Sure, but slow recovery. Come on, I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. But maybe it's a serious factor or maybe not. But Dasonic Boom, it's coming here. It's deep. It's fit. I thought it was unlucky not to win the listed Jim Maloney last time out. Just got caught up in between them, weaving passages. 1,600 metres now, yes, on ratings. I think Dasonic Boom and Legacies have it between them. I don't think anything else can win, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I think Dasonic Boom draws better and is better at this stage. So, yeah, happy to have it as my Flemington bet at $6.50.
Dino, Star Patrol race 9 was really impressive first up. It still has room for improvement off what we've seen from it in its career to date. It does have a peak second up record down the Flemington Straight. Do you think it can jump off what it did last start, or do you think it's going to level out off that big run? Because it was a pretty tough run, I think.
Yeah, they went about 12 lengths faster than average to the 6th, and it obviously sat on that and held on late. I think the counter to that, it's had 3 weeks between runs. The issue is now we have to take $2.50. I think the only danger in the race is Jigsaw, but first up, 1,200 metres is the query for that horse. So I'd be more than happy to take Star Patrol. I think he will go 2 from 2. If he doesn't win, you'll know why. But the horses out of that sort of race, trying to think, a couple have come out and run since okay. I think 3 weeks between runs is fine.
Yeah, it's a testing 1,200 metres first up for Jigsaw. And I think the horse has proven around a bend, but not so much proven down the straight. What's your best bet for Flemington, mate?
Yeah, my best bet, race 9, number 2, Star Patrol. I think he'd be too good for him, and for all the reasons we just spoke about, I think the main danger I can pot. So therefore, Star Patrol looks good. But $2.50 is probably the query. I think you might get a little bit better, but he's hard to beat in race 9.
Fair income. They'll be sitting at home going, Gannon's just set that up perfectly for Watling. Yeah. I had no idea. Absolutely no idea. There you go, punters. That's why we just the
This nice little short ball when he's away.
Yeah, well, bit of Ezra Man about me. Oh, don't. Oh, look, nice way to transition anyway to the to Rosehill. Rails in a true position is currently hosing here in Sydney, but it is Wednesday night, and I'd suggest the track would dry out to be on the better side of a good 4 come Saturday. Dino, would you agree with that summation?
Yeah, I think underbelly's really, really dry. I saw that today at the Kenzo track. We rained throughout the day, but they just couldn't make any ground because we had dried and fast cities along the rails. So rail back to the true, I would be forward of midfield unless we get significant rain, then it should even out.
Love it. All right, Louis, let's kick off the race 5, the Tab Roman Consul Stakes. We have Osmosis, $2.40. Could be one of those horses putting their hand up for an emergency spot in the Everest. King's Gambit, $5.50. Celestial Legend, $5. Barber, $7.50. Royal Tribute, $7. Louis, kick us off with the Tab Roman Consul.
So I'm happy to stick with Osmosis, but I was hoping Celestial Legend would be shorter than $5 so I could have a reason to go against it. I think that's a pretty good price, the $5. Yeah. So I want to say Osmosis that I'll stick with it. And that's what I will say. It was too good, sat outside the lead. That speed was hot there in the Heritage, set up by Royal Tribute, who found nothing, whereas Osmosis kept kicking and winning. So I think would map outside the lead again. They might go a touch slower out to 1,200 metres here, but I don't think that would worry him. Probably may work into his hands. If they go fast again, he clearly can handle a hot speed. And I think there's improvement, obviously, to come second up. So I'll stick with Osmosis, but Celestial Legend, as Dino, you may touch on soon, was pretty unlucky in that race, got taken off his running at a crucial stage, had to swivel, balance back up, still found the line well, and obviously now out to 1,200 will suit second up. I think it'll be back again. I just wish it was shorter than $5 so I'd have a reason to say, no, I can't touch it. But, gee, the $5 is super interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I was the exact same. I wish they were in separate races because it's sort of cannibalizing 2 bets. So I'd love to, wherever Celestial Legend was going, I was betting second up. Now it's ran into and going to the same race as Osmosis. I think the big tick for it, Louis, is second up 1,200 metres, so an extra 100 metres. And it was only first up off one soft trial. So I think we speak about Osmosis having improvement. I think he will have improvement as well. But it's just hard, that 1,200 metre setup around Rosehill to shoot start again. So it's again hard to make ground. You just love to see Celestial Legend third up to Randwick in a, say, 1,400 to 1,600 metre race. Osmosis was great. I think we underrate how hard it is to win first up on a hot speed outside the lead. That's not the spot you want to be. So I think there's a lot of merit in that win. Bjorn Baker strikes at 12% first up the last 12 years and has a strike rate of 16% second up. So he always has natural improvement in his horses. I think that's another big tick for Osmosis. Lands where Louis suggested outside the leader again and should be too hard to beat. I think the big query horse is King's Gambit. Back around the bend, trials are always great. I think it's D-Day for him. It's a small field. He's going to get every possible chance. He's going to get a lovely run 3 pairs back. If he can't win, I think it's night for him. But, Gannon, I wanted to ask you, I think the market can move a little bit. Royal Tribute is $7. I thought that was short for that horse. I thought maybe the market move in this would be Celestial Legend firm and Royal Tribute probably get out.
Yeah, absolutely. Royal Tribute should be double figures off what we saw last start. There's no doubt about that. And if he hits double figures, it might get a bit of support because a lot of people like that SP and they'll hold on to it a little bit. I'm not sure why, but they just do. Celestial Legend has to probably start a fraction shorter, and Osmosis, I can't imagine it getting much shorter than what it is because, I don't think you're going to be wanting to take
good race.
$2. Right. King's Gambit's interesting, 56.5 kilos here. Tommy Barry is 7. Probably the knock is the barrier 7. It wouldn't surprise at all to see this horse jump out of the ground and run a career peak. But
can you take it? Can you trust him?
What do you do, right?
I guess you get a good
tried and true formula, right? We know what he's going to do. We know he's going to sit in the right spot. He's only got to turn up and do it again. Sorry, Dino.
What I was going to say is if you do like King's Gambit, $5 is a good price to be finding out, not $3.20 down the straight with 50 other horses and never been down the straight. So that's the positive, I guess, for him, the price that he can get.
I think the thing down the straight that we've got to remember, and this is what happens, however many days on we are, 21 days on, he was actually travelling really well down the straight for the first 400 metres, and then this white piece of paper or whatever it is has jumped out in front of him, and he's half sort of balked at it and lost the plot. So complete pen job. That Louis doesn't like that. He reckons it's something to do with
slow recovery, Louis.
Slow recovery.
Yeah, no comment. What?
You don't watch replays, Louis, or you too busy texting while you're driving, son.
If a piece of paper's done him, I'll give it away.
Let's go to the Niverson, the Rosehill Race 9, the Niverson. Wow, aren't we digressing today? Parasol, $3.20. Can she overcome the wide gate? That's the question. Magic Time. I know Dino loves this horse. Will he be with her again? Well, we'll find out. $3.90 there. And then it's pretty open outside of that. Queen of the Ball, surely you dropped off Dino, $6.50 and longer the rest. Dino, what do you got in the Niverson?
I haven't dropped off her. Queen of the Ball is on top and one of the better bets of the day. I just think there's a knock in the couplers in this race. There's no speed at all to start with. 200 metre start, if you draw them wide, you are cast. I think Zach Lloyd's going to push the button from 13 and Parasol's going to have to use the juice to go forward. If we remember, they clashed first up together. I can't remember the race off the top of my head, but there was only a pimple between them. And it wasn't a day you wanted to lead, and Queen of the Ball did lead. Comes out of a really, really strong Scirocco. Espiona's coming out of that race, the Tissue, and we saw what Sunshine of Paris did in that race. Just didn't look suited. I think 2 weeks between runs or 3 weeks between runs just looked a little bit flat. Now has had 4 weeks between runs, freshened up. Best runs have been fresh. Gate 2 controls the speed and runs them into the ground. So I think Queen of the Ball should be shorter. Magic Time's a danger. Was good first up behind a Sephora in the 1100 heat. We saw our Sephora run to sort of half a length to a pair of trees. Parasol's the one that I probably want to get out in the market. Just saw the gate's just awful. So Queen of the Ball for me, Louis.
Yep, I wanted to go for value here with that bad draw and short price for Parisal. I tried to find She's All Class first up, but I didn't like the trials. And that trial form has been dreadful, especially that first trial.
You want to worry about white bits of paper trial form? Does that even exist?
I'm stirring you up because it was your horse that won the trial, you bozos. Anyway,
there you go. You're spot on. Someone tells me the placement of that horse from 1.com wasn't the best, but we'll work towards it.
Oh, you've set him up beautifully, Louis.
I found Magic Time at $3.90 for all the reasons Dino said. Wide, good, first up in the heat. The jump out win at Crampton since very strong. Second up here. Yes, so Magic Time on top. And the one I'm going to play each way is Russian Conquest. First up, one trial over the 1,000 metres. Sat last in the trial and won under a pretty big hold. It was a very, very smart trial. Go back to its last preparation when first up. It was really unlucky in the Group 3 Gold Coast Guineas. It still rated well that race. And I think from barrier 6 here is a genuine player down on the minimum of 54 there at $14. So Magic Time on top to beat Russian Conquest at a price.
Super stuff. Yeah, I found it really hard. I thought Parasol, given the lack of speed, can spear across to the front, and I think that'll be an advantage. We know Zach's aggressive, so we know that'll happen. Do you want to take $3.40? Probably not. I think she'll probably start closer to $4 if she does. She's a bet. Otherwise, it's just a sit back and watch. Well, Louis, you've carved me up again just for another week. Nothing unusual there. Before we end it, give us your best bet around. We can hopefully, for God's sakes, tip the punt as a winner, would you?
Yeah, well, I try my best each week. You know that, mate. Yeah, look, I'll make it Magic Time. I actually am pretty keen in this race, and then you watch Russian Conquest win, and you guys will say I didn't tip you one, even though I've given you a push. Magic Time, fantastic. And your best bet at Flemington was? The best bet at Flemington, I'll make the Sonic Boom in the Edward Manifold.
Fantastic. And Dino, best bet at Rosehill, then best bet at Flemington for me, please.
Race 5, number 3, Osmosis is the best bet at Rosehill. Race 9, Star Patrol is the best bet down there in Melbourne, Gunner.
Fantastic. Yeah, my best bet was Ozapenko at the price. I'm really starting to warm to him now. Didn't find him straight away, but now I've found him and I'm pretty keen there. And at Rosehill, race 4, number 12, Stanislance. Well, it was pretty good. Goes back to benchmark 78 now at a listed grade. Obviously goes up against older horses, but 52 kilos, Zach Lloyd, Godolphin have this perfect recipe for success, and this is how they do it. This horse was pretty good in and behind them, behind some talented ones. They put out $12. I think
it went to the Heritage, wasn't it? Was it
Sorry,
Heritage?
Mate? Yeah.
It was Heritage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Beyond Osmosis, yep.
they put out $12. I wasn't quick enough, but they still got around $8 around, and that's still value. I had a mark closer to $6, or was it $5.60? I had a mark, I think, off my head, and I thought that was a bet because I think it's a very, very even race, and I had it on top. Just fantastic betting proposition. Extravagant stars in that race, but barrier 8, not ideal over 1,100 meters. Righto, lads, it's been an absolute blast covering some racing when we know barrier draws and horses are actually going there. It's been good fun. Louis, no $150 to $1 pops this week, but hopefully your best can get up. And Dino, thank you very much for your time. You're a superstar. I know you're the busiest man in racing, but we do appreciate your time.
Always time for you too. And hopefully, does that mean we should maybe tip a couple more winners because we've got barriers out? That's not a thing?
If we don't,
we're unlikely, but we'll see how we go.
Thanks, boys.
See you, lads.
Bye.